The world feels like it's changing faster than ever, and it's easy to think our challenges are unique. But history shows us these patterns, rising powers, internal conflict, and shifting wealth, repeat in cycles. By studying the past, we can better understand today's turmoil and prepare for what's next. The rise and fall of empires like the Dutch, British, and now the United States follow a predictable big cycle. This cycle is driven by how nations manage debt and money, internal divisions, and external rivals. Recognizing these forces gives us a framework to make sense of the headlines and navigate the future. Throughout history, the rise and fall of empires has followed a remarkably consistent pattern, a phenomenon often called the big cycle. This cycle is the recurring story of how great powers emerge, reach their peak, and eventually decline, only to be replaced by new contenders. From the crumbling stones of ancient civilizations to the bustling metropolises of today, the echoes of this cycle are everywhere. Empires are born from ambition, innovation, and unity, but over time, they face challenges that test their resilience and adaptability. Take the Dutch, for example. In the 17th century, the Netherlands rose to prominence through groundbreaking innovations in trade, finance, and naval power. Their fleets dominated global commerce, and Amsterdam became the financial heart of the world. But as their influence grew, so did the costs of maintaining it. Costly wars, fierce competition, and internal divisions gradually eroded their strength, leaving them vulnerable to new challengers. The British Empire soon took center stage, ushering in an era defined by industrial might, scientific progress, and global finance. Britain's navy ruled the seas, and its colonies spanned the globe. Yet, even as it reached unprecedented heights, the seeds of decline were being sown. Two devastating world wars, mounting debts, and the rise of independence movements across its colonies weakened the empire's grip on power. After World War II, the United States emerged as the new global leader. With its economy booming and its influence spreading through institutions like the United Nations, America shaped a new world order. The post-war decades brought prosperity, technological innovation, and cultural dominance. But as with those before it, the American era has faced its own set of challenges. Today, familiar warning signs are appearing. The United States grapples with soaring national debt, deepening political and social divisions, and the rise of a formidable challenger, China. China's rapid economic growth, technological advancements, and expanding global influence signal a potential shift in the balance of power, echoing the transitions of the past. History shows that every empire's greatest strengths can become its greatest vulnerabilities. Prosperity can breed complacency, and power can lead to overreach. The very factors that drive an empire's success often sow the seeds of its decline, as new challenges emerge and old solutions no longer suffice. The big cycle continues to turn. New powers rise, learn from the mistakes and achievements of their predecessors, and compete for influence on the world stage. This ongoing process shapes the destiny of nations and the course of history itself. By studying these patterns, we gain crucial insight into the forces shaping our world today. Understanding the big cycle isn't just about looking back, it's about anticipating what comes next, preparing for change, and making informed decisions in an uncertain future. Empires don't collapse overnight. Their decline is gradual, shaped by recurring forces, economic shifts, social unrest, technological change, and the relentless march of time. Recognizing these signs can help us navigate the challenges ahead. Today, as we witness another turn of the cycle, the world stands at a crossroads. The choices we make now will determine the shape of the next era. The lessons of past empires are more relevant than ever, reminding us that history's cycles continue, and that our actions today will echo far into the future. Debt and money management are at the heart of every empire's rise and fall. Early on, debt funds growth, education, technology, infrastructure, creating prosperity. But as wealth grows, so does complacency. Borrowing shifts from investment to consumption. Military costs and global commitments become unsustainable. Eventually, debts balloon beyond what can be repaid honestly. The central bank faces a choice: allow painful defaults or print money. History shows they always print. This devalues the currency, erodes trust, and signals decline. Foreign investors lose faith, shifting wealth to rising powers. The cycle of debt and monetary decline is a key reason great powers fall. Internal conflict, fueled by widening wealth and value gaps, is the second force in the big cycle. Early on, unity and shared purpose drive progress. But as prosperity peaks, wealth concentrates and resentment grows. Social cohesion breaks down, politics becomes a zero-sum battle, populist leaders rise promising to fight for their side, compromise vanishes, and government gridlock sets in, trust erodes and society fractures into warring camps. This internal strife paralyzes reform and weakens the nation. History shows that when internal conflict boils over, decline accelerates. The third major driver of global change is the emergence of a powerful external rival, a nation that challenges the established order and disrupts the balance of power. Throughout history, the rise of such a competitor has often marked a turning point, forcing the dominant empire to confront new realities and adapt or risk decline. While the leading empire is weighed down by mounting debt, internal divisions, and a sense of complacency, a new nation is rapidly ascending. This rising power is marked by discipline, innovation, and an unyielding drive to succeed. Its cities are booming, its industries are modernizing, and its people are united by a shared vision of progress and prosperity. The new contender studies the old leader closely, learning from its successes and failures. It copies what works, improves upon it, and quickly gains ground in critical areas like trade, technology, and education. Its scientists push the boundaries of innovation. Its engineers build world-class infrastructure, and its students are trained for the challenges of tomorrow. As its economic and technological influence expands, the rising power also invests heavily in military strength. Advanced equipment, modern fleets, and cutting-edge technology become symbols of its growing might, all designed to protect its interests and project power on the global stage. The established power, feeling its dominance threatened, grows increasingly wary. Diplomatic meetings become tense, alliances are tested, and both sides demand recognition and respect. The world watches as the old and new powers maneuver for advantage, each seeking to shape the future in its own image. Tensions inevitably escalate. Trade wars erupt, technology becomes a battleground, and military standoffs loom on the horizon. The competition spills into every arena: economics, politics, and even culture, fueling uncertainty and anxiety across the globe. These ongoing conflicts place enormous strain on the declining empire. Resources are drained, economies falter, and once thriving industries struggle to keep pace. The cost of maintaining supremacy grows ever higher, threatening the stability of the old order. Meanwhile, the rising power's influence spreads. Its flag is raised at international summits, its leaders take center stage, and its economic success inspires others. Global markets respond, and the world begins to shift its attention and allegiance toward the new leader. This is the decisive moment, the final act in a high-stakes drama. The outcome of this rivalry will determine not just who leads, but what kind of world will emerge. The next world order hangs in the balance, shaped by the ambitions and actions of these two great powers. The big cycle begins with a nation's rise from chaos. Victorious in conflict, it sets new global rules and guarantees peace. A strong culture of education, discipline, and unity fuels innovation and growth. Investment in infrastructure and technology drives competitiveness. The nation's goods dominate world trade. Its currency gains global trust. Capital markets attract investment, powering further development. This virtuous cycle of productivity, savings, and wise investment builds strength. The people are united, leadership is effective, and the nation's power grows. This is the golden age: hard work, shared sacrifice, and rapid progress. At the top, the empire enjoys global dominance and prosperity. Its currency is the world's reserve, allowing it to borrow and spend freely. But success breeds complacency. Costs rise, competitiveness fades. Production shifts overseas, the nation consumes more than it produces. Wealth gaps widen, and the work ethic that built the empire erodes. Society grows decadent, focused on luxury and speculation. Financial gains concentrate at the top, fueling resentment below. The empire borrows heavily to sustain its lifestyle and military. Beneath the surface, the foundations of power are weakening. Decline begins with crisis, a market crash or debt implosion. The government prints money to avoid default, devaluing the currency. Economic pain deepens internal conflict, trust in institutions collapses. The rich move assets abroad, draining the nation's resources. The empire faces tough choices, military or social programs, both underfunded. External rivals seize the moment, challenging the old order. Investors lose faith, selling off the empire's currency and debt. The loss of reserve currency status marks the end of dominance. A new world order emerges, and the cycle starts again. The big cycle isn't fate, it's a pattern we can learn from. Throughout history, nations have risen and fallen, not because of destiny but because of the choices they made, and the lessons they either embraced or ignored. The cycles of prosperity and decline repeat, but they are not set in stone. By understanding these patterns, we gain the power to shape our own future, rather than simply being swept along by the tides of history. Decline isn't inevitable if we act on two timeless principles. These principles have guided successful societies for centuries, and they remain just as relevant today as they were in the past. The path forward is always a choice, and by making wise decisions, we can avoid the mistakes that led others to falter. First, a nation must earn more than it spends and keep its currency sound. This means focusing on productivity, innovation, and responsible management of resources. When a country lives within its means, it builds a foundation of stability and trust that can weather even the toughest storms. Borrow for investment, not consumption. Maintain trust in money. Wise borrowing fuels growth and progress, but reckless spending erodes confidence and leads to crisis. Every dollar borrowed should be used to create value for the future, not just to satisfy short-term desires. When people and governments respect the value of money, economies thrive. Second, people must treat each other well. Civility, shared purpose, and opportunity for all. Societies flourish when citizens respect one another, work together, and ensure that everyone has a fair chance to succeed. When we build bridges instead of walls, we create a sense of unity that strengthens the entire nation. When wealth gaps and political divisions grow too large, the social fabric tears. Inequality and polarization breed resentment and conflict, making it harder to solve problems and move forward together. History shows that ignoring these issues leads to unrest and decline. Financial strength and social unity are interconnected. A healthy economy supports a healthy society, and vice versa. When people trust their institutions and each other, they are more willing to invest, innovate, and build a better future. A united civil society can make wise, long-term decisions. When leaders and citizens work together, they can tackle even the most difficult challenges, setting the stage for lasting prosperity and peace. Today, many nations struggle with both principles. Economic imbalances and social divisions threaten stability around the world. But these challenges are not insurmountable. They are calls to action, reminders that we must return to the lessons that have stood the test of time. The future isn't written. By learning from history, we can reverse decline. Every generation faces its own crossroads, and the choices we make now will shape the world for decades to come. If we study the past with open eyes, we can avoid repeating its mistakes. These lessons are our best hope for a stronger, more prosperous future. By embracing fiscal responsibility and social unity, we can build a society that not only survives but thrives. One where opportunity and stability are available to all. The cycle can be changed, if we choose to change it. The power to shape the future is in our hands. By acting with wisdom, compassion, and foresight, we can create a legacy of hope and progress for generations to come.